Good night.
All right, thank you, Cynthia. You're welcome. All right, so. I said there isn't that much under the public session if you just want to move through those items.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so
To you.
we'll call the meeting order. First, approval of the minutes for both the October and November meeting.
What I was thinking is though, just for the recording, if you want to do a kind of roll call, what do you
Okay,
call it?
roll.
Just
So,
people.
Rob Catone, chair.
Jason Pivot, member. Ashley Crick, member.
Stephanie Secord, guest, public information officer.
And Suzanne Woodland, deputy city manager.
Sorry.
That's okay. It's just
Okay.
cognizant of that.
Yeah. Okay, so that's item one. Second item on the agenda is approval of minutes from both the October and November meetings.
Move to accept minutes as recorded. Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
That passes.
All right. And then following up on proposed changes to the mission of the Cable Commission, as you all know, on Monday night, the City Council moved to pass second reading and schedule third and final reading for the next City Council meeting. They did point out that there's one sort of typographical edit we might want to make, which I can go ahead and do for third and final, which is just fix the name of the committee in that one paragraph. So I'm happy to do that and make sure that gets with the city clerk's office for third and final reading. So.
So next city council meeting will be roughly a month from.
It will be January 23rd.
Same time, 7 p.m. is when you said.
Correct. Yes.
And I'm dedicated this time to being there until our item comes up.
Yeah.
Whatever happens with scheduling. And I apologize.
Sorry.
It was just one of those cases where I didn't have something to do.
For what it's worth, third and final is normally perfunctory. In the sense that they may just up on the agenda, third and final, they're all happy with it, and off it goes. Like just in 3 minutes, we're done, and they're not asking for any comments or questions. So that's the good news is, like I said, they seem to be quite supportive of this mission change. So, but yeah, it'd be good if you're there just in case something comes up. But
Yeah, and I guess my thought too is, okay, that's normally, but the fact that they have not had a chance to talk with us in either of the previous 2 readings, I wouldn't put in. I'd be happy to answer and go past the norm.
And what I will do is I will check with the mayor and the city manager and see what they'd like. The other pieces we may kind of slip you into the public comment session right at which is normally right at the beginning. So you could say, here on behalf of the Cable Commission, you're third and final consideration. That might work too,
That's good.
because that kind of gets you in early.
Sure, yeah.
So I'll put that on my list to.
We need to move to change the language or do something.
Yeah, it's okay, I've got it, yep, because it's not really substantive, it's complicated.
Doing good.
Yep.
Now, cellular coverage.
Yep, so I am working with Mr. Brady to get a meeting scheduled with AT&T, so we just needed to kind of get past the holidays. So I would say, let's see when that gets scheduled and what we learn and understand from that meeting, and that might inform then your next, steps after that, but we're working on that.
And then as far as other, because there are, while the Verizon and AT&T are the 2 alpha and beta, the market, but there are others too. Like I don't know if it's worth us T-Mobile, and I don't know, but I honestly don't even know as far as what our coverage looks like, and we had sort of also kicked around the possibility of like coverage maps or trying to figure out, what, how best to address the facts versus what people are saying as far as coverage issues, whatever. I don't know. I think it's more just bringing it up, not having any solutions, which I hate. But it's something to be like, basically say, that obviously we're going to be addressing coverage issues. It'd be good for us to somehow know where the issues might be in a more scientific way.
identify issue areas.
Right, thank you. I mean, I don't know how we would do that, I guess.
I mean, yeah, that would have to be done by, each of the providers' engineering team with their antenna on their car, tracking their own signal. I mean, that's how they do it now. AT&T does that, they have a car with an antenna, they drive places, they track the decibel, the signal level. And that's how they map it, so they'll probably, if we ask them to do that, they would do it around Portsmouth. If we tell them those are problem areas, they'll route there and see drop in signals, stuff like that.
So if I could, the first thing I would suggest is it possible to obtain from the town a list of all the cell towers that are in city limits and who the carriers are that use those towers?
I don't think we have such a list, honestly.
Interesting.
And I'm trying to think how we would generate, but we may informally
From
know.
that, though, we would say, okay, here's who we need to think about contact. And then the other comment I would make, so setting that aside for a moment. The other comment I would make, instead of getting right to, having the new coverage maps, I would just suggest an introductory meeting with the list of people we're going to set up, just like we did with Verizon, where we say, hey, this is what we're hearing, informally, tell us about your challenges, what's going on. And then from there, maybe we decide if we ask them for more details, like a coverage map or something.
Soon, my fear is they will just give you the generic one that you find on their website.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's fine. I think if we go, my opinion is that we kind of ask for the meeting with this stuff in advance. They might feel like, oh, I'm going to be brought up before the grill. And I think our intent here is really want to tell us about your challenges, and we'll tell you what we're hearing and what do we think we can do about it, if anything.
Right. Some of the areas we already know.
Yeah.
You just tell them, do you have plans to address those areas? As well, so.
Well, I think we've done that. I mean, we had pretty good information on Verizon, and that helped inform the conversation, and they readily admitted that they, there were areas that they were working on and already had a plan for remedying cell service. And I think we informally at the last meeting had a conversation that we're hearing the same, maybe not quite to the same degree with AT&T customers. I think we could do an introductory, picking up on your theme, communication to say some of the other smaller carriers. And most of the carriers are servicing here. I think we can get a rough idea of, the couple other carriers that have any kind of significant number of customers here.
Actually, to mobile is big.
And we could just do hey, we'd like to, could you send a representative to a meeting?
Yeah, we
And
just like
make
to
it-
find out
Yeah,
kind of what you're hearing, what your challenges are, because I thought it was
Right.
interesting to hear from Verizon about a very public session.
Yeah.
It was interesting to hear about their challenges.
Yeah.
And what they were doing about it.
Yep.
So that being said, I think, using the 80-20 rule, Verizon being the largest, that makes sense. We have them the first meeting, AT&T is probably number 2, but again, maybe it
Yeah.
doesn't exist, but that list of who provides here would be great.
yeah. Let me see if I can find it. Maybe they, on the public works side, they may have a better understanding. I've just never seen such a list,
Right.
but people may informally know.
Well, I would
So-
imagine permitting in the city would require that permits to operate towers, right?
But the towers may not be owned by them.
Understood, yeah,
So you
right,
couldn't easily do a
I understood.
search and flag it, and sometimes they have stuff on buildings, which
So it's on the
kind of
tower.
vary.
You have your tower, then the lease sections of the tower,
Exactly.
it's like the poles.
So I'll put that on my list to see what I can find for who the carriers are.
That's really good.
Yeah, I think that makes sense to have just the next meeting with AT&T and see how it goes. Then the next question may be related to this, but I want to kind of get it on the agenda, which is to suggest the idea of changes maybe to the city website concerning our commission to provide some more information about what we're trying to do, like
Yep.
mission change. number 1. And then kind of at least get it out there on the website that we're interested in your feedback. If you have thoughts, comments, or anything like that. we'd love to hear.
Well, that's perfect because Stephanie's here and she's the person I would work with
So
to help make changes to the website. So my suggestion is, we'll make some updates after the 23rd, after we get our final reading, and maybe Stephanie's often good about kind of mocking something up but not releasing it public, and maybe we can find a way to review that with one or more of you. So we'll get a mock-up of a new updated page. Does that work for you?
Yes, absolutely.
comments, like a comment section.
It's a little tricky. We don't have.
So
Go ahead.
if I may.
Yes, please.
What I've done on other pages is our two-way communication for the city is primarily MailChimp, because that's what the city newsletter is on. And all of the individual DPW projects have their own page, have a MailChimp list that is comprised of people who are interested in that project. MailChimp also allows us to have a feedback area. It's just a simple open-ended comments. If you'd like to give us some info, if you'd like to ask a question, if you have a concern, anything like that. It's the language that we set up for the box that's just fill in the blank. The good thing about that is that anyone who fills out, asks a question, has a comment, whatever, becomes part of the specific, in this case, commission MailChimp list, so that then you're building some two-way communication with your folks. So that it's super easy to do. It doesn't cost you anything. It adds easily to the webpage.
So when
Thank
people,
you.
people make a comment or feedback, so where does this go then?
That then comes basically to me first, and then I forward it to whomever you would want to designate on the committee, or to Suzanne, or whoever you like.
Now, I'm assuming though these comments would be like a forum post that other people could read though, right? It's not gonna set up some kind of choice or. Okay, good.
No,
I've no
it's,
ready for
it's,
this.
it's, the only one who sees it is the first person it comes to, and then I can either compile them, send them to you as they come in, however works best.
And then one other question on the webpage, would it be difficult or hard for our meetings to publish on our page when the next meeting is?
That's easy. That's actually built into the website template.
Ryan, today, awesome.
Okay, great. Do we have- Okay, yeah.
One more thing, so the idea of the meeting, same thing, link wise, you could just link a YouTube link to the meeting as well.
Yes.
Yeah, past meetings.
Yeah. They build something less set them out.
Yes, as well as your minutes.
That's great.
Okay, that's good.
Mind you, they're all on the website now. They're
But
just
not in the
not
context
in the
of
context,
the
right.
commission page.
Yeah,
right?
that's right. Certainly, they are there.
Because yeah, I have to say there are a lot of views, in fact, probably with that, a lot of people that might be more interested in what we have, what we're doing, may not necessarily be the most technically savvy people, so we can find information, like I think all three of us are relatively tech savvy, we can find what we need. I'm sure you as well. I'd say I know that. I love it. So,
Under other business, I have one other item.
yes, okay, yeah, so we move on to, so are we done with self, or we move on to other business? Yes, okay, other business.
So I did reach out to PPM TV, extending your invitation to have a conversation with them as may be needed, either more generally something that is public, or if it is relative specific to the franchise renegotiation. And so they will probably take us up on that offer at some point. They weren't ready for tonight, but I told them it was an open invitation and they just need to let me know, and we would get them here for a conversation. Like I said, depending on the nature of their topic, which I can vet with them, whether it be in public or non-public if it's very specific to franchise and legal advice.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other?
Do you have someone on Zoom if you want to check to see, I can start putting in a public comment section.
Okay,
Don't
sure.
know.
So I'm sorry, the person who is in,
So before we do that, I want to move that we add to the agenda a public comment section.
sure, okay,
And we'll do that going forward. We're getting more interest. Yep.
okay, so I assume their last name is Vaughn. Do you have any,
We have to let them speak, Suzanne.
Yeah.
Camera. A microphone.
Yeah, they don't, not showing a microphone, so maybe they're just listening in.
all right, so we'll just assume, sorry if we skipped you over, but we're gonna assume that you're just here to listen, so. All right, at this point, I think we are now reaching a point where we're gonna close the meeting to public. In discussion of our franchise.
Okay, so you would want a motion to move into
So we have
the,
a motion to enter into a closed meeting.
Second.
Okay.
a second.